Welcome to the deep dive. You know how this works. We take the stuff you're curious about, the resources you point us to, and we really dig in to find the key takeaways.
Exactly. And today, you've sent us towards a real classic, actually. Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Yeah, a big one. It's all about what's going on inside your head, your thoughts, your beliefs really shapes your life, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So our mission, our goal for this deep dive is to really get a handle on how the conscious and subconscious minds work together, or sometimes against each other.
Right. And more than just understanding it, we want to pull out those practical techniques, the things you can actually use from the book to tap into that subconscious power.
Yeah, the goal is useful knowledge,
Yeah.
right? Stuff you could apply pretty quickly. Health, wealth, relationships, getting over fears without it feeling like you're, studying for a final exam. Quick, but thorough.
Okay, let's dive right in then. The book starts with this idea, this core concept Murphy calls the duality of mind.
Mhm.
And just to be clear, this isn't like multiple personalities. It's more that your single mind has these two distinct functional parts, the conscious and the subconscious.
Yeah, and he uses a great analogy. Think of your conscious mind as the captain on the bridge of a ship. It's the part making the choices, using logic, reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you're aware of, thinking with right now.
Okay, the captain. Got it.
And the subconscious, that's like the crew down in the engine room. They aren't deciding the destination, but they're the ones actually running the engines, making the ship go.
Ah, okay, so the subconscious handles what? Emotions.
Habits.
Exactly.
Emotions, habits, all those deep-seated beliefs. It works on a subjective level. And here's the really crucial part. It doesn't really argue or reason like the conscious mind. It basically accepts what the conscious mind feeds it as true.
Accepts it as true and then acts on it.
And then acts on it.
Yeah.
It works to bring that accepted idea into your reality. Murphy's point is, if the captain, your conscious mind, gives bad orders based on, say, a faulty compass, the engine room crew, your subconscious, just follows those orders. They don't double-check the navigation charts. They just power ahead, even if it's towards the rocks.
Wow. Okay. So what I'm consistently thinking and believing, my subconscious just runs with it.
That's the core idea. It takes those dominant thoughts and beliefs as its instructions.
Yeah.
And, the book mentions this idea isn't new. People have talked about this duality for ages, using different terms: objective mind, subjective mind, waking mind, sleeping mind.
Voluntary, involuntary.
But the principle's the same. Two functions within one mind.
So following that ship analogy, how susceptible is that engine room crew, the subconscious, to like outside influence suggestion?
Highly susceptible. That's a huge theme in the book. He gives this really vivid example of someone on a ship maybe feeling a little nervous about getting seasick.
Okay, yeah, I can picture that.
Then another passenger walks by and says, "Oh, you look really pale. You're definitely going to be sick." If the first person accepts that suggestion, maybe because they were already worried, boom, suddenly they feel much worse. The suggestion takes root because it lands on fertile ground, so to speak.
So it's not the suggestion itself that has the power.
Exactly. That's the key insight. The power comes entirely from the mental acceptance of the suggestion. If that person was feeling great, really confident, that comment might have just bounced right off them.
Right. It needs you to sort of agree with it internally.
Your internal state, your belief, gives the external suggestion its power within your subconscious, which leads us neatly into autosuggestion and heterosuggestion.
Okay, break those down. Auto is self.
Autosuggestion is suggesting things to yourself. It's your internal self-talk, and it can work for you or against you. Murphy tells this story about a singer, Janet R. Incredibly talented, apparently, but crippled by stage fright. Just this overwhelming fear of failure. Before every audition, she'd just tell herself, "I'm going to mess up. I won't get the part."
She didn't.
And she didn't. Her autosuggestion was creating her reality. But the hopeful part is she learned to flip it.
Ow.
She started consciously, deliberately, using positive autosuggestion, repeating things like, "I sing beautifully, I am poised, serene, confident, and calm," over and over.
Did it work?
It did. By constantly feeding her subconscious this new positive message, she overwrote the old fear pattern. She started nailing her auditions. It shows you can use self-talk to reprogram yourself.
Okay, so that's autosuggestion. What's heterosuggestion?
Heterosuggestion is suggestions coming from outside yourself, from other people, from the environment, media, whatever.
Ah, Okay.
And the book makes a really strong point about how many negative heterosuggestions we absorb without even realizing it, especially when we're kids.
Like what?
Oh, casual comments that stick. You're just not good at math. You'll never amount to much. Money is hard to come by. Things are always getting worse. Even things meant well, like be careful, constantly, can build a subconscious fear.
Yeah, I can see that. They just sink in.
They sink in and can really limit you later on, often without you consciously connecting the dots. Murphy gives another example, Hugh D., who had this terrible temper.
Okay.
Ruining his job, his relationships. He sort of believed everyone was against him. That was his underlying programming, probably from years of absorbing negative suggestions.
So what did he do? Similar to the singer?
Pretty much. He started a campaign of constructive autosuggestion to counteract the negative heterosuggestion he'd absorbed. He'd repeat things about peace, harmony, goodwill towards others multiple times a day.
And that helped his temper.
It took effort, consistency, but yes, he managed to basically rewire that reactive anger by consciously choosing and repeating a different inner message. It shows you could fight back against negative programming.
That's encouraging. But suggestions can be really powerful, right? Even dangerously so.
Oh, absolutely. The book tells this quite chilling story about a man who went to a crystal gazer, a fortune teller.
Okay.
And this gazer told him he was going to die on the next new moon.
That's intense.
Very. And despite his family trying to talk him out of it, this man completely accepted the prediction. He believed it, 100%.
So what happened?
He withdrew, stopped eating, basically prepared to die, and on the day of the new moon, he had a heart attack and died.
No way. Really?
That's the story in the book. And the crucial point Murphy makes is, it wasn't magic or fate. It was the man's own fear and absolute belief in the prediction. He gave his subconscious the ultimate negative suggestion, and it carried out the order.
A self-fulfilling prophecy, literally to the extreme.
Exactly. It's a stark illustration of how powerful belief-accepted suggestion can be, which leads into another concept. The assumed major premise.
Assumed major premise. What's
Yeah.
that, like a core belief?
Rightfully. It's the fundamental assumption, the basic lens through which you view everything. The book talks about a college professor who just felt like his whole life was falling apart. Health problems, money troubles, difficult relationships. He realized he was operating from this unconscious major premise that basically said, everything I try fails. Things always go wrong for me.
Oh, that sounds draining.
Totally. So the turning point for him was consciously choosing and establishing a new major premise.
What did he choose?
Something like, infinite intelligence leads and guides me in all my ways. Perfect health is mine. Beauty, love, peace, and abundance are mine. He started affirming that as his foundational truth.
And just repeating that changed things.
By consistently holding that positive premise in his conscious mind, impressing it, he began to re-educate his subconscious. And gradually, things in his life started to shift for the better. Health improved, finances got better. It shows how vital that core assumption is.
So it's like the subconscious is this record keeper.
Murphy calls it the book of life. Whatever you impress upon it through thoughts, beliefs, suggestions gets recorded. And whatever is recorded gets expressed in your life, in your body, your circumstances.
Expressed. So if I impress thoughts of health,
Then health tends to manifest. If you impress thoughts of fear or lack.
then that tends to manifest.
And when your conscious and subconscious are aligned, working together towards a positive goal, that's when you experience harmony, health, success. But conflict between them, like consciously wanting health, but subconsciously holding on to fear of illness, that creates problems.
And it affects the body too, right? Not just circumstances.
Absolutely. Remember, the subconscious controls all your vital bodily functions, heartbeat, digestion, breathing, immune response, all the automatic stuff.
Right.
And the book points out how things like chronic worry, persistent anxiety, deep-seated fear can actually interfere with those normal harmonious functions. They disrupt the signals, basically.
Which can lead to actual physical illness.
That's the implication. There's
Yeah.
a really strong mind-body connection being described.
Okay, so if the subconscious is this powerful and affects everything, how do we consciously work with it? How do we influence it effectively?
Great question. And the book offers several practical techniques. One is called the passing over technique.
Passing over.
Yeah, think of it like handing over a blueprint. You create a really clear, detailed mental picture of what you desire. Like an architect designing a house. You focus on the end result, feeling the reality of it, and then you sort of pass it over to the subconscious to build.
So clarity and conviction about the end result.
Exactly. Another related idea is what Murphy calls the science and art of true prayer.
Which isn't necessarily religious prayer in the traditional sense.
Not necessarily.
Uh,
He defines it more as formulating a clear desire, feeling a sincere, heartfelt longing for it, and achieving a state of mind where you accept that desire as fulfilled. It's about aligning your thoughts and feelings with the outcome.
okay. That makes sense. What else?
Visualization, a big one. This is about creating vivid mental movies of your desired outcome. Seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it in your imagination as if it's already real.
Like rehearsing success in your mind?
Kind of, yeah. The idea is if you can see it clearly and consistently in your mind, it already exists on some level. You're giving the subconscious a very clear picture to work towards.
Got it. Are there any, specific methods for doing this?
Yes, there's the Baudouin technique, named after a psychologist. This involves boiling down your desire into a short, simple phrase or affirmation, something easy to remember.
Okay.
Then you get into a relaxed, drowsy state, maybe right before sleep, and you repeat that phrase over and over, like a lullaby, feeling its meaning.
Does it give an example?
It does. A woman with a complicated lawsuit. She condensed her desired outcome into, "It is finished in divine order." Repeated it faithfully in that sleepy state. And apparently the whole situation resolved peacefully and unexpectedly in her favor. The repetition in that receptive state impressed the idea.
So that leads to the sleeping technique.
Exactly. The book really highlights the times just before falling asleep and just after waking up as prime time for influencing the subconscious.
Why then specifically?
Because your conscious mind, the critical, doubting part, is less active. It's quieter. Your subconscious is more open, more receptive to suggestion in those drowsy transitional states.
Wow.
So planting positive ideas then is very effective.
Okay, that's a practical tip.
Then there's the thank you technique, which I think is quite lovely, actually.
Just being grateful.
Being grateful in advance. Feeling and expressing genuine thanks for your desire as if you already have it.
Feeling the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Precisely. It generates the emotional frequency of already having received it. The book tells a story of an unemployed mother who constantly gave thanks for her wealth, feeling gratitude for the job she didn't have yet.
I mean, she got one.
And then she got an unexpected, really good job offer. The gratitude aligned her with the outcome.
And then there are affirmations, just straight up positive statements.
Right, affirmations. But the key here is they need to feel true to you, or at least believable. They shouldn't create a huge mental conflict.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're deeply in debt, just repeating I am wealthy,
Right.
might feel like a lie to your conscious mind, creating resistance.
So let's bet.
Maybe something like, every day I am attracting greater abundance, or focusing on the feeling of security and prosperity. The affirmation needs to resonate and feel emotionally congruent. Murphy shares a story of a man who dreamed of being a doctor, and he constantly held that image, affirmed his success, felt the reality of being a doctor, and eventually he achieved it. Sustained, felt affirmation.
Okay, lots of practical tools there. What about healing? You mentioned the mind-body connection. Does the book go deep into mental healing?
It does, significantly. The core idea presented is that all healing, fundamentally, originates in the mind. Your subconscious, Murphy argues, has the blueprint of perfect health and the power to restore it.
Even for serious conditions.
The book shares some pretty remarkable accounts, things like a skin malignancy reportedly disappearing, damaged optic nerves being restored through mental techniques. The claim is the subconscious healing power is immense.
Wow. So what triggers that healing power?
The law of belief, it's central. But it's less about believing in a specific external thing, like a particular doctor or remedy, although that can help.
It's more about...
It's more about your subjective faith.
Yeah.
Your deep inner conviction. Your acceptance of the idea of healing within your own mind and body. Believing in the inherent healing intelligence within you.
So it's the inner belief that activates the subconscious healer.
That's the theory presented. And it connects this to historical accounts of healing biblical stories, healings at shrines like Lourdes. Murphy suggests the underlying mechanism is often the same. Intense belief and expectation engaging the subconscious.
Even if the reason for the belief varies.
Exactly. Whether it's faith in a relic, a person, or just the power of the mind itself, it's the acceptance of the healing idea by the subconscious that matters.
What about helping others heal? Can you use your mind for that?
Yes. The book discusses absent treatment. This is the idea of directing focused thoughts of health, harmony, and wholeness towards someone else, even at a distance.
How would that work?
The theory is based on a universal subconscious mind, that we're all connected on that deeper level. So, by holding a clear, strong thought, of perfect health for someone, you impress that idea onto the universal mind, which can then influence the individual.
Is there an example?
Yeah, a woman in LA whose mother in New York had a serious heart condition, a coronary thrombosis. The daughter repeatedly prayed, visualizing her mother as perfectly healthy, vibrant, whole.
And mother recovered.
According to the book, yes, she had remarkably quick recovery that surprised her doctors. The daughter attributed it to her focused, absent treatment. The key is consistently conveying that idea of perfect health.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. What about wealth? That's something a lot of people want to use these principles for.
Definitely. And the book tackles this head on. It challenges the idea that wealth only comes from grinding, back-breaking labor. It talks about an effortless way of life.
Effortless. That sounds nice.
Well, maybe not zero effort, but less about struggle and more about aligning your mind. It emphasizes building a wealth consciousness.
How do you build that?
By consciously dwelling on ideas of wealth, success, abundance. Feeling the reality of prosperity within you. The book suggests repeating words like wealth, success, with feeling, letting them sink into the subconscious.
Just repeating the words.
Repeating them with feeling and conviction. Again, it's about impressing the idea and the feeling of wealth. But like with health affirmations, they need to feel resonant.
Right. Avoid that internal conflict.
Exactly. If I am a millionaire, feels ridiculous, maybe focus on I am attracting wonderful opportunities or my finances are improving daily. Focus on the feeling of security and flow. Money is just a symbol, the book says. Focus on the mental acceptance of abundance.
Does it give a wealth creation story?
Yes. A young man in Australia.
Ah,
Apparently, he desperately wanted to be a physician but had no money for school.
okay. Common problem.
He started vividly, consistently imagining the medical diploma on his wall, seeing his name on it, feeling the pride and reality of being a doctor. He lived with this mental image. A local doctor took an interest in him, hired him as an assistant, trained him, and eventually paid for his medical education. His sustained visualization and feeling, the book argues, attracted the means.
So the steps seem to be desire it, visualize it clearly, and feel it as real.
Those are the three key steps highlighted for success in any area, yes. Desire, visualization, feeling.
It's interesting how many different fields seem to touch on this, even science.
Oh yeah, the book gives several examples of scientists tapping into their subconscious. Elias Howe, the inventor of the sewing machine. He was stuck on how to design the needle. Couldn't figure it out consciously. Then he had this vivid dream about being captured by tribesmen threatening him with spears. And the spears had holes near the tip.
So the dream gave him the answer for the needle eye placement.
Exactly. His subconscious processed the problem and delivered the solution in a dream. Same with Professor Agassiz, a naturalist. He was trying to reconstruct a fossil fish impression in stone, but parts were unclear. He dreamt of the complete fish twice, but couldn't remember the details upon waking. The third night, he put a pencil and paper by his bed, woke up, sketched the fish from his dream in the dark, and in the morning found it perfectly matched what was later revealed when the stone was carefully chipped away.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like the subconscious has access to more information.
That's the idea. It can solve problems the conscious mind struggles with. There's also the story of a scientist escaping a Soviet concentration camp.
Really? How?
By intensely, vividly imagining himself in Los Angeles, walking down specific streets, visiting friends, feeling the freedom. He did this constantly for months. Eventually, an opportunity arose, and he escaped, making his way to Los Angeles just as he'd imagined.
Sustained imagination creating the path.
That's the claim. Even archaeologists, the book suggests, sometimes use focused imagination, a sort of intuitive connection, to reconstruct ancient scenes or understand artifacts, tapping into, well, Murphy calls it the universal mind.
Fascinating. Okay, what about sleep itself? We talked about using the time around sleep, but what about sleep's role overall?
Absolutely vital. The book stresses sleep is crucial for recharging, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. It restores harmony, clears the mental clutter.
And lack of sleep is bad, obviously.
Very bad. It mentions the Randy Gardner sleep deprivation experiment, how after days without sleep, he experienced memory loss, irritability, even hallucinations. Sleep is essential for sanity, basically.
But it's not just rest, right? The subconscious is active.
Very active. It can process problems, offer guidance, give warnings through dreams. The book gives an example of someone dreaming about a job offer they were considering. And in the dream, they got this strong feeling of, don't take it. A warning intuition that turned out to be right.
So pay attention to dream feelings.
It suggests paying attention, yes. Not necessarily literal interpretations always, but the feelings and insights. There's another quick story about an employee solving a tricky business problem during a short nap. A visionary cat nap.
I need some of those.
Don't we all? And famously, Robert Louis Stevenson, the author.
Treasure Island, Dr. Jekyll.
That's him. He apparently deliberately instructed his subconscious, his brownies, he called them, to provide him with story ideas while he slept, and they often delivered.
He consciously asked his subconscious for help with creativity.
Exactly. He treated it like a creative partner.
Okay, let's talk relationships. How does the subconscious play into how we connect with others?
Well, fundamentally, the book connects it to the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
How does that relate to the subconscious?
Because the subconscious is like a recording device, remember? It records your thoughts and feelings about others. And the idea is what you consistently think and feel towards someone else tends to get reflected back to you in your own experience.
So if I'm constantly thinking negatively about my boss,
You might find your own work situation becoming more difficult or negative. Your inner state is creating an outer reflection. The book gives an example of a salesman, Jim S. He resented his sales manager, felt he was unfair. And Jim's sales figures were poor. He wasn't getting promoted.
cause and effect.
Murphy suggests so. Jim was advised to start actively, sincerely wishing his manager, wishing him health, success, happiness in his thoughts.
Did it change anything?
Apparently, yes. As Jim changed his inner attitude towards his manager, his outer relationship improved and his career started moving forward. It highlights the power of your internal dialogue about others.
So send out good vibes, basically.
Essentially, yes. Consciously project thoughts of love, peace, goodwill. Because what you send out mentally and emotionally tends to come back.
What about dealing with genuinely difficult people, though? It's not always easy to feel goodwill.
True. The advice given is to try not to react on their level. Don't meet anger with anger. Mentally affirm peace and harmony for them, even if you don't feel it initially. Return good for evil, as the saying goes.
Like mental shield.
Sort of. It protects your own inner state. And the book also touches on that idea of misery loves company. Understanding that negativity often comes from a person's own inner turmoil can help you not absorb it yourself.
Remain unaffected. Maintain your own peace.
That's the goal.
Okay. Related to difficult relationships is forgiveness. How does that fit in?
It's presented as absolutely crucial for your own well-being. The book emphasizes that life, or God, or the universe, whatever term you use, operates by impartial laws. Bad things happening aren't divine punishment.
They're consequences of.
Often consequences of our own negative thinking patterns, our resentments, our guilt. Holding on to unforgiveness towards others or ourselves is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick.
Yeah, I've heard that analogy.
The book tells the story of Harry G. She carried immense guilt over her brother's accidental death years earlier, blaming herself.
And how did that affect her?
Her life became a string of misfortunes, financial problems, health issues. She was subconsciously punishing herself. Healing only began when she understood the need for self-forgiveness, for releasing that guilt.
That's powerful. What about forgiving others? Or dealing with criticism?
Big point.
Yeah.
Criticism can't actually hurt you without your mental consent.
Or consent.
Your agreement with it, your internal reaction. There's a story of Ramona Kay, a teacher who gave a speech and got a nasty anonymous note afterwards.
Ouch.
She was really upset by it. But the book points out it wasn't the note itself, but her reaction, her dwelling on it, accepting its negativity that caused her pain. She gave it power over her.
So choose not to accept the criticism internally.
Right. Understand where it might be coming from, maybe learn from it if there's a valid point, but don't let it poison your inner state. And this relates back to that early conditioning too. Like Carol, whose mother instilled all these restrictive beliefs about what she couldn't do or shouldn't aspire to. Realizing these are just old, absorbed suggestions, not fundamental truths, is the first step to breaking free and forgiving the past, including the people involved.
It leads to less blaming then.
Exactly. When you understand the creative power of your own mind, you stop blaming other people or circumstances for your conditions. You realize you have the power to change your thinking, and thus your life.
Okay, what about changing things we do? Bad habits. Can the subconscious help there?
Definitely. Habits, the book explains, are basically subconscious compulsions. Thoughts and actions repeated so often they become automatic, ingrained pathways in the subconscious.
Like smoking or drinking too much.
Exactly. The book shares the story of Bob J., who struggled with alcoholism. He tried willpower, made promises, but kept failing.
So what worked?
Understanding how his mind worked. Realizing the compulsion came from his subconscious, he started using visualization and affirmations, creating a strong mental picture of freedom from alcohol, feeling the joy and peace of sobriety.
So reprogramming the subconscious driver.
Yes, using the law of substitution. You can't just eliminate a negative thought. You have to consciously replace it with a strong, positive, constructive one. Admit the habit, then focus intently on the desired state of freedom.
Makes sense. Let's talk about fear. That's a big one that holds people back.
Huge. And the book distinguishes between normal fear, like being cautious around a cliff edge, that's healthy self-preservation, and abnormal fear.
Abnormal fear being?
Phobias, chronic anxiety, fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of illness. Fear is based on negative imagination and beliefs, not immediate danger.
And how do you tackle those?
The main technique is to mentally move to the opposite of the fear. Consciously focus on the desired outcome. Remember Janet R., the singer with stage fright.
Yeah, she focused on singing beautifully.
Exactly. She didn't fight the fear directly. She focused on the positive opposite poise, confidence, beautiful singing, until that became the dominant idea in her subconscious.
What about fear of failure, like in exams?
Common one. The book explains that dwelling on the possibility of failure can actually create it. It can induce suggestive amnesia, where your mind just goes blank under pressure because the fear is dominant.
Oh, I think I've had that.
Many have. The counter is to focus on success. Sheila A., the other example, was terrified of exams. She started repeatedly visualizing her mother congratulating her, hugging her after passing the exam, feeling the joy and relief.
She focused on the successful outcome.
Yes. She saturated her mind with the feeling of success, and it counteracted the fear. She passed. It works for specific phobias, too, like fear of elevators, affirming safety, visualizing smooth rides.
So starve the fear, feed the positive opposite.
That's a good way to put it. There's even a dramatic story of John N. lost in a jungle.
Oh, wow.
Terrified, running out of food. He remembered these principles and started affirming, "Infinite intelligence is guiding me now." He claimed guidance, safety, rescue.
And he got out.
He did. Found a path, met rescuers. He attributed his survival to shifting from panic to claiming inner guidance.
Amazing stories. Okay, the book wraps up with a chapter on staying young.
Staying young in spirit forever. It's a really uplifting message. It directly challenges the common belief that getting older automatically means decline, sickness, uselessness.
So age is just a number.
More than that, it argues age is the dawn of wisdom, that your mind and spirit don't actually get old and decrepit in the way the physical body might change. The potential remains.
But we see people decline as they age.
Murphy tells an anecdote about an elderly friend in London who seemed vibrant, but then started saying things like, "I'm old now, my work is done." And soon after, he did seem to decline rapidly. The suggestion is he'd grown old in his thought life first.
He accepted the limiting beliefs about aging.
Exactly. The book uses a quote from Thomas Edison about electricity. Electricity is, use it. Life is like that, this vital force. It's meant to be used, expressed, regardless of chronological age.
So don't retire from life mentally.
Precisely. It pushes back against societal bias that often sidelines older people, arguing that age brings valuable experience, judgment, wisdom. These are assets.
Are there examples?
Loads.
Yeah.
Frank W., forced to retire, initially felt useless. Then he reframed it as promotion freedom to explore things he loved. He started traveling, learning, engaging. It changed his whole outlook and vitality.
To change in perspective.
A huge change. And it lists historical figures who were highly productive late in life. Cato learning Greek at 80, Michelangelo painting masterpieces in his later years, Goethe finishing Faust. The list goes on. And Jean-Louis Calment, who lived past 122 with incredible wit and spirit.
So the message is, your attitude towards aging profoundly impacts your experience of it.
Absolutely. Think young, stay active mentally and spiritually, keep learning and contributing, and you can remain vital.
Wow. Okay, that covers a lot of ground. So to kind of wrap this all up, what's the absolute core takeaway for our listener?
I think the biggest thing is just realizing the incredible power you have within your subconscious mind. It's not some mysterious external force. It's part of you, and it responds directly to your dominant thoughts, feelings, and beliefs.
So the controls are basically in the conscious mind.
That's the idea. By understanding these principles, suggestion, belief, visualization, affirmation, and consciously using the techniques we talked about, well, you really can start directing that power to make positive changes. Health, happiness, success, overcoming limitations.
Yeah, it feels empowering, actually. Hopefully, this deep dive gave everyone listening some of those aha moments, some practical things they can maybe start experimenting with.
That's the hope, that it provides a solid foundation, some actionable ideas for people to explore in their own lives.
Okay, so here's a final thought for everyone listening to maybe chew on after this.
hmm
Think about one specific area of your life right now where you really want to see a change, a significant improvement.
Yeah.
And ask yourself honestly, what kind of blueprint am I currently giving my subconscious about this? What are my dominant thoughts, my underlying beliefs related to this area?
Yeah, that's a great reflective question. And then maybe ask, what's just one small, consistent step I could take, starting today, to begin impressing a new picture, a more positive vision for that area onto my subconscious?
Just one small step. Could be an affirmation, a 5-minute visualization, choosing a different reaction.
Doesn't have to be huge, just consistent.
Exactly. We really encourage you to keep exploring these ideas, see how they resonate with you, and how you might apply them in your own unique way. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.